Sleithia dros ei llwybrau a thaim o'i hyd. Tir oedd ein dewinoedd ar gan yn un ar gwynt yr
Welcome to the first episode in our series of introductory podcasts by the Eryri National Park Authority. Today we're going to be talking to Jonathan Cawley, the newly appointed Chief Executive for the National Park Authority. Congratulations on the new role. How have the first few weeks been?
Thank you very much, Alec. A bit busy, but really exciting. I'm really pleased to have the role. It's a big privilege, a huge responsibility. There's a huge amount to do, so it has been busy. I'm actually doing the old post at the moment as well. I was, for those that don't know, I was a Director of Planning and Land Management here for 11 years, so I'm having a slight restructure as one of the first things I'm doing here, so it means I will be doing my old role and this one for the next 3 or 4 months, so it's going to be a little bit busy, but yeah, I'm sure we'll get through it.
Okay, great. And before you started for the National Park Authority 11 years ago, what kind of is your professional background? What did you do before joining us?
I'm a chartered town planner by profession. So I sort of graduated in my planning degree in Newcastle University back in the 1990s, done various sort of planning jobs since then, planning and environmental related jobs. So sort of Newcastle Airport, I was a wind farm developer up in Scotland for a few years, a few jobs sort of in the public sector, including head of planning policy at Denbighshire County Council, before sort of landing in the dream job in the National Park, 11 years ago. So yes, I can't believe it's 11 years, to be honest.
And so you've given us a bit of a context as to who Jonathan Cawley is, the kind of chief exec of the National Park Authority. What's your personal background? What do you do outside of work?
A few sort of things. First of all, I guess I enjoy going out and enjoying the national park. It's sort of just enjoying the great outdoors. I enjoy my walking, be at the mountaintops or in the woodlands at home in Gwydir with my dog, or so getting out and about is a regular thing which I enjoy, sort of to de-stress, decompress at the end of the week. Yes, I was an avid cyclist until a few years ago. I don't cycle hardly at all now, but I was really keen on the competitive side of cycling years ago. Those days have long gone now. These days, I've a bit of my sort of leisure time goes on coaching the junior football team at Llanrwst. I live in Llanrwst, so I made the mistake of saying I'd coach the under-8s a few years back, and the under-8s have now become under-17s, the same team, so they're all a bit bigger than me. They shout back at me now when I give them orders, so it's but no, that's something I really enjoy. That takes up my Tuesday evenings and my Saturday mornings. And also for my sins, I've got a season ticket at Manchester United, so I get down to Manchester every couple of weeks to watch the team lose. Yeah, it's invariably these days.
I'm sorry about that. Having been at the authority for some time, you must have really got a good understanding of what our strengths are as an organisation. Perhaps you could talk to us a bit about where you feel those strengths lie and what you're most proud of coming to work every day.
Yeah, definitely. I think clearly our biggest strength is our staff. The National Park Authority is all about the people that work here. It's the people that work here. They're the ones that do the work. Do the hard yards. They complete the projects. They fulfil our statutory purposes as a National Park Authority. So that's the biggest strength, really. It's certainly somewhere that attracts, I think, a high calibre of staff. We've got people here who are, highly skilled, really imaginative, creative people. People who've got an absolute passion for their work. People who believe in what national parks stand for, who believe in the statutory purposes of national parks in terms of protecting and preserving and enhancing sort of wildlife, landscape, cultural heritage, and helping people understand the park better. So it attracts those sort of people invariably, which is brilliant. No doubt, I'm sure many of them could go on, to jobs that maybe pay better and that sort of thing, but they seem to stay here. The turnover of staff here is low. I can't offer them any more money, unfortunately, but it does attract good people that are really an important part of this environment, and so that's something that we should all be proud of. I think we're a small-ish organisation, so everyone knows each other. That's I think a strength that we've got here as well. There's a sort of good understanding of what everyone does, and everyone gets on positively. So another great thing, yes, and the size of the organisation really necessitates that everything that we do has to be in partnership, really, and I think partnership working and getting value for the work that we do, getting match funding for projects, or bringing in partners who have got other specialisms and other sources of funding, and so on. That's a real strength of ours as well.
Brilliant. Yeah, no, I completely agree. I think working in partnership is one of the great opportunities we have as a National Park Authority. Could you maybe talk about a couple of the other opportunities that you kind of see on the horizon, perhaps mixed in with some of your ambitions? You don't need to go into too much detail about what your vision is. It's early days, obviously, but where do you kind of see us making some real headway, some wins, whether environmental, community, etc.? Yeah,
it is really early days at the moment. As I say, I'm sort of 2 months into the job now, and I'm doing the old job as well. So it really is. It's a matter of listening, really, at the moment, and trying to understand how things work and what people want. I've had so many partners, external partners and stakeholders who have got in touch with us, people that work with the National Park to ask to meet, to say, to come up with some ideas. So, I need to go out and talk to these people and get on the ground and have a proper chat with all sorts of different stakeholders, and people who want to work alongside us. So that's something I need to do. So in terms of concrete ideas, I think it's too early for me to set that out, but clearly we will be setting a clear vision out in time. We're reviewing our 2 statutory plans this year, the country in Eryri, our management plan, and the local development plan. So both of those will help us sort of create this vision for the future. But in terms of maybe a couple of high-level things that spring to mind, sort of the biodiversity and nature emergency that is being faced worldwide, but it's certainly been faced here in Eryri is something that we clearly need to do our bit here. We've got a statutory purpose to preserve and enhance wildlife, and the truth is, wildlife here is not in a healthy state. So we need to, up our game and find more money somehow, and be as ambitious as we possibly can in that field. So that's maybe one that jumps out. Another one that sort of jumps out is the climate crisis and how we react to that. Again, difficult, massive issues that are sort of worldwide issues, but we have to do our bit in this small part of the world. And we've created the Carbon Officer post recently, so that's going to help us on the road to that. But we need to be ambitious in that field, both in terms of reducing greenhouse gases and that sort of thing, restoring peatlands, but also just helping people and communities adapt to climate change and mitigate the effects of climate change. So another big, massive area that we need to be as ambitious as we possibly can with partners on that. And I shouldn't forget either, maybe encompassing everything that we do, is that this is a national park where, people live here and people work here, and incomes aren't always the highest here. So we have to be really sensitive to, in all the work that we do it in collaboration with local communities, and hopefully, in nearly all cases, with their support. And and we certainly need to share and educate, on the things that we do with local communities. So, I think there's 3, but there's countless others that I've probably missed. Yeah.
This next question, I guess I'd like to maybe explore a bit and for you to reflect on what you think makes Eryri really special. And then as a second part of this question, I'm happy. It's fine if you don't want to answer it, because I guess there's a sensitivity about showing favouritism to any given particular place, particularly as the newly appointed Chief Exec of the National Park Authority. But could you tell us maybe what makes Eryri special, and where do you believe is one of the most special places in Eryri, in your heart? Okay.
What makes it special, clearly, is the landscape is something really striking here. It's an inspirational landscape. All of Wales is sort of big mountains. There's sort of 15 peaks over 3,000 foot that's sort of concentrated in a small corner of this national park, which creates this striking landscape. But it's also a varied landscape. It's not just about mountains. It's sort of ancient woodlands. It's striking river valleys, and also an amazing coastline, which quite often gets forgotten. So that makes it a special landscape. I think the people here as well. Clearly, it's one of the only real national park in the UK that's got sort of 2 sort of living languages. Maybe the Cairngorms would maybe say otherwise. I'm not sure how many people speak Gaelic in that part of the world. But in terms of a thriving sort of language in this part of the world, we're in a sort of unique position there. So that again is a special quality of this national park. So the people make the landscape as well. So that's an important element of it. In terms of favourite place, I have got a favourite place, so I'm probably upsetting people here, but I've already said the whole national park's nice, so that's
that's a good start.
That's a good start to get out. I'm probably focusing more on my sort of my local patch at home. I'm from Llanrwst in the Dyffryn Conwy, so the Carneddau mountains are somewhere where I've always gone to ever since I was a kid, climbing Carnedd Llywelyn, at quite a young age on my, not with a mate, in my trainers in the snow, which don't tell the wardens that's certainly something I wouldn't encourage anyone else to do. The Carneddau, a really important place to me. But also, I think a forgotten part of Eryri sometimes is sort of the rivers and the woodlands. Again, just looking at my home patch, the River Conwy, the catchment of the Conwy is just a striking place. There's 3 sort of rivers that run into the main stem of the river, the Lledr, the Llygwy and the Conwy itself, and those 3 rivers, as they drop height really quickly, sort of cascading waterfalls and pools, and the ancient woodlands around them is like nothing you'll get anywhere else, I don't think. So that's another special place where I've done a bit of fishing in these areas, so I know them really intimately. But special landscape, really, the catchment of the River Conwy. But anywhere in the national park is really special as well.
Great, some great choices. Thank you for sharing those, and thank you for agreeing to be interviewed. It feels nice for the roles to be reversed. You interviewed me a few months ago, so it's nice to return the favour.
Thank you, Dave.
And next up, we'll have Helen Pye from the National Trust talking to us about our landscapes, our future in the coming episode. Thank you.